Warning: the following video contains explicit language, which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Are you ready? Hey everybody, it's Jeff. Gloomy day here in Maine. Rain, but it's just not heavy rain, but it's off and on, and you know, it's just cloudy. A lot of people have been bitching everywhere I go about the weather, and I said, well, you know, that groundhog told us, you know, that it was gonna winter was gonna stick around, and people snap back and say, well, somebody needs to shoot that fucking thing. I'm like, Jesus, boy. You know, it's like, hey, you know what? This is Maine. You live in Maine. This is, I mean, you should be used to it by now, okay? Sure, people are upset about it, but they shouldn't be surprised, okay? Maine, we get a lot of fucking weather in this state, even during the summer we do, okay? And I don't know, they've been bitching here for the last few years about, oh, we don't get enough rain in this state, we don't have enough water in this state, we need to replenish the rivers and yada yada yada. Well, you know, you can't enjoy the lakes or the rivers or go fishing, you know, if there ain't no water. But you know, it's just, you know, more of the same basically. But I think the weather will warm up a little bit more here this week. I heard somewhere they said about getting into the 50s in Maine here at some point here. But you know, who knows? But I'm hoping that, you know, the spring weather here will ease off here a little bit, so we can start enjoying the sun, because I think that's what people really need more of, is the sun, because, you know, our bodies absorb that sunlight like plants, you know, in a way, and we got to have that. In fact, I got, you know, the VA sent me this fucking light panel here. Let me show you. Can you see it? Yeah, it's got a big white cord down the front of it. Yeah, they sent me this panel, and they told me that, you know, I should expose myself to it for, you know, like a half an hour, you know, each day, because your body needs that kind of artificial, well, not artificial, but needs the light. The sunlight this artificially produces. Okay, it's like, I don't know much difference. All I know is it brightens the hell out of the living room when I turn it on. And Smokey don't like it, but you know, they do what they can, I guess. You know. Anyway, I got a video. I got two videos, but this first one here is from iHip, and she's going to be talking about Elon Musk and his crybaby tantrum that he had about people that are protesting him, his company, and his cars, and, you know, in many ways, including violent ways. And he's getting upset with that, and he can't imagine why anybody would be so mad at me, you know. I mean, all right, so let's go to that video here, and we'll discuss that on the other side.
Since Donald Trump came down the escalator, I thought it would be impossible for anyone to be a bigger titty baby victim than that man is. But enter Elon Musk, and he's madder than a hornet in the fetal position, just beside himself, because he thinks Tim Walz is being so mean to him. Play the clip.
Does that help Tesla? I mean, you had Tim Walz, who's a huge jerk, you know, running around on stage with a Tesla stock price, where the stock price had gone in half. And he was overjoyed. What an evil thing to do. What a creep. What a jerk. Like, who derives joy from that? And
I'll tell you who derives joy from that. Millions and millions of people that oppose fascism worldwide. You are universally disliked, except for a sect of the MAGA morons that think you're smart because you gamed the American capitalist system and got all these government subsidies and became a billionaire. Nobody likes your ass because you are a raging hypocrite of the highest order. Play the clip.
This is the chainsaw for bureaucracy. Chainsaw! That's perfect.
I mean, what are we doing here, America? I mean, that is so embarrassing. It is so cringe, his behavior. And then think about it. He is dismantling tens of thousands of government jobs and agencies that keep people safe, that keep people protected. You have the richest man in the world who is only rich because of taxpayers in the United States of America that were born here, paid into these systems earnestly. And he's born in South Africa, a huge racist, comes over here and wants to dismantle our government and has the balls to be mad at Tim Walz because he's happy that your piece of shit car stock is tanking. Tim Walz is not experiencing that joy in a vacuum. And the hypocrisy when he is dismantling a country that a lot of people had pride in, that a lot of people had hope in, that millions of people call home, that has kept the world order. He's dismantling it and ruining people's lives and destroying USAID, and millions of people are going to die because of that. And he's running around acting like an ass on ketamine with a chainsaw. But that's not all. There's more. Put up his tweets. Here he is. Go woke, go broke. Go woke, go broke. Yet another case. Go woke, go broke. Another tweet. Go woke, go broke. He is the biggest titty baby hypocrite on the planet. He can't ever do anything on his own. He can't fight fair. He can't tuck his tail between his legs and say, you know what, Tim Walz, I get it. I understand why you wouldn't like my stock because I'm dismantling the government right now. I'm firing a lot of people. He can't. He has to sit in the fetal position just like Trump. These guys are the biggest titty babies. They have this veneer of strength, and then you just barely scratch it, and behind it, they just shiver and just completely fall apart because these men are not the men that they project. These men are wannabes. They are posers. They are fakers. They have never earned anything on their own. They're cheaters. They're liars. They're con men, both of them. And I believe they have secrets together that are mutually assured destruction. I think these two men are the most dangerous men that this world has seen since Hitler. All right, here's a tweet right here I thought made a lot of sense. Susie Rizzio says, the billionaires have decided that the people with nothing have too much. Such a simple tweet, and I think it's so true. Imagine these billionaires, Peter Thiel, J.D. Vance, Donald Trump, Elon Musk, have decided that you, working class Americans, have too much. You can't have your Social Security that you paid into, that you saw leave your check your entire life because Elon Musk wants it, Donald Trump wants it, and all of these rabid Republican capitalist worshiping men want to privatize it, just like they have health insurance. And we know how well that works out. Everybody gets their claims denied, and people file bankruptcy in this country because they're sick. And the people who perpetuate these policies are the Christians, the ones who are supposed to want to help the poor. And I just want to remind everybody that Jesus spoke out against the accumulation of wealth. So you have this dissonance in the United States of America, where we are one of the most Christian countries in the world, where we are not supposed, if you're a Christian, you're not supposed to support the accumulation of wealth. You're supposed to help the needy. You're supposed to help the poor. And on the other hand, everybody worships capitalism and gives billionaires a hall pass and falsely claims that, oh, Elon Musk is rich, he must be a genius, when in all actuality, he's not. He's a con man sucking off the government tit. These guys are doing what they claim working class Americans are doing. And I just want to point out that undocumented immigrants pay more into the tax system than these billionaires do. And then they don't receive the benefits later on in life. All right. I want to remind everybody, particularly Elon Musk, the reason that people are celebrating when your stock tanks is because of this. Put up the image. Here he is, the night that Trump was inaugurated, and he had this built up. He had been on his just horrible website, X, formerly Twitter, for months, building this up. Finally, he ascends to the power that he wants, and he does 2 back-to-back Sig Heils. That's why we are celebrating your failure, because fascism should fail. And the way you've gamed the system, and the way you suck off the American tit, and the way you marginalize Americans and exploit LGBTQ community and the migrant community for your benefit is disgusting. And we celebrate that type of failure in the same way that the Allies celebrated when they won World War II. All right, here's some real talk from a Yale professor about late stage capitalism. Listen.
I mean, this is like so fundamental to the American dream. The fact that you can roll up your sleeves, get to work hard, and rise through the ranks. What's wrong with that?
So that's much, much harder to do now than it used to be. And one of the reasons is that the middle has been stripped out of the labor market. Look, we've all heard statistics like that a CEO used to make about 20 times what a production worker makes. Now it's 300 times. But it's not just CEOs. A doctor used to make 4 times what a nurse makes. Now it's 8 times. A partner at a law firm used to make about 5 times what a legal secretary makes. Now it's 40 times. A bank president used to make about 50 times what a bank teller makes. Now it's 1,000 times. And what's happened is that the good middle-class, mid-skilled jobs that used to dominate work have been destroyed and replaced with a lot of gloomy jobs at the bottom and a few super elite glossy jobs at the top. And if we want to fix inequality, what we really have to do is fix that. We have to fix work.
This is the real diabolical brilliance of the MAGA movement, is they have the people who are being impacted most by their failed policies supporting said failed policies. It is the hoodwink and the con of the century. Middle-class voters, working-class voters believe that Donald Trump is advocating for them. They believe that because Elon Musk gamed the system and is a brilliant con man, that makes him a genius. And in fact, it only makes him an opportunist. But I also want to play this video from Kara Swisher. And I want to point out that women seem to have more cojones now than all of the men that I've seen combined. Listen to Kara Swisher here.
Astonishing reaction of, well, nothing happened. The operation was a success. I'm like, I don't care. We don't know. Who knows? I don't trust any of you people to tell the truth on anything. 2 things. Let me make 2 points. 1, you're a bunch of morons. Again, lying morons. 2, Goldberg was doing the right thing here, and he's a fucking badass. He did everything right ethically. And then when they challenged him about whether it was true, he didn't release the text initially. But then he's like, fuck you, I'm going to release the text. The third thing is, you know who's also a quiet hero here? Lorraine Powell Jobs, owner of The Atlantic, is letting this keep going, right? Because there's a lot of corporate people who are pulling in their horns for Trump, whether it's Disney paying that settlement with George Stephanopoulos or Paramount considering it. Like, all these people are doing this. And Lorraine Powell Jobs is running the Atlantic. Let me just tell you, I was just thinking, who's the Katharine Graham of this era? People like her, like that are not backing the fuck down. She has got a lot of bravery to put up with this stuff and to be able to take the pressure. When I think of Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, and Musk sitting and sort of prostrating himself to Trump and what she just did, just a real differential.
All right. Lorraine Powell Jobs, billionaire, owns the Atlantic, doesn't have to grandstand, doesn't have to get up on stage, isn't asking for credit, but is silently and very efficiently and effectively putting up a resistance. She's supporting her journalist, which is supporting the Constitution, which is supporting the ideals of the United States of America. There is another billionaire who's doing the same thing, Christy Walton of Walmart fame. And she just bought a full page ad in the New York Times that went in over this weekend. This ad says, "We are a people of principle and honor. We honor our communities and stand by our allies. We defend against aggression by dictators. We uphold and defend the Constitution. We care for veterans and children. We respect our neighbors and trading partners. We support a healthy national and international economy, community, and environment. We are the world leader trusted to uphold the stability of rule of law." And I just want to point out that it's women right now. Neither of these are up on stage trying to grandstand, trying to get all of this attention. They are silently supporting and trying to uphold democracy and putting up a resistance, because everybody knows when they put their head on the pillow at night that Trump and Musk do not have the interests of humanity at heart. These guys are disruptors in the most diabolical way imaginable. They want to dismantle democracy. They want to control all forms of everything that Americans hold dear. Education, a free education, they are completely dismantling that. The arts, any form of aid, any form of social security, any form of middle class unions being able to organize to make sure they can get health insurance and be paid livable wages. They oppose all of this. And then they have millions of followers that willfully and gleefully vote against their own self-interest. And I'm just amazed that they see videos of either of these two men talking and think, yep, that's the guy for me. And I'll leave that up to the psychiatrist to really analyze how deeply dangerous this cult is and the dissonance in which its cult followers have to engage in. But this is a moment where we all need to stay engaged, and we need to fight for the First Amendment. We need to fight for free and fair elections. We need to bully the shit out of Elon Musk because it's working. The meltdown he had in the first clip that I showed you guys, it's working. Tim Walz got right under his skin. Tim Walz, working class man, school teacher, former football coach, decided to get into politics for all the right reasons. At the end of the day, Elon Musk knows he's nowhere near the man or the human that Tim Walz could ever be. All right, please subscribe to our channel. We're trying to get to 1 million subs, and we'll see you all later.
You know, if I went around, let's say, you know, in a neighborhood here, and I had a box of cat turds, dried up cat turds, and I had a slingshot, and I was going around, you know, shooting cat turds at people's homes and windows and stuff. And then after a few days of that, the cops come visit, and they give me a warning or something, or they tell me, you know, you need to stop doing that, you know, and you know, we'll charge you for vandalism, and you know. And then I turn around and come on here and I make a video screaming or crying about why do they hate me? Do you think anyone would give a fucking a drop of tear or anything like that for me over what I did? Of course not. And I would understand why. Okay? Because I'm acting like a fucking prick. Musk, you know, he works at Doge. He's tampering with people's fucking lives. And believe me, because the people's lives that he's upending here are not people who have a lot of money where they can soft land after losing a job. Okay? These people are, you know, and a lot of them, working paycheck to paycheck and spending it as they get it. That means they're living hand to mouth. They don't even, a lot of people even said this on the news, that a lot of people today they don't have a savings account because they need every fucking penny when they get it. They can't afford to put in a savings account. And, you know, I feel like, you know, that right there is very telling. You know, when the buying power of the country is that bad. And the last thing that these people need to have happen is for this oligarch to be handed the keys to a fucking business that's being allowed to meddle with government affairs because of the orange Hitler in chief, okay? And he's going in there and he makes fun of the act that, oh, I got a chainsaw and I'm gonna, you know, okay? He thinks it's funny that he's putting people out of work, okay? He doesn't understand what that means for millions of fucking, not just, you know, a handful, but millions of Americans across the country, what that means. You know, we ain't talking about, you know, cotton pickers or something like that. We're talking about essential staff, like government workers who work, and even before the cuts, it was pretty, you know, low staffed in the first place. But these people earn their fucking money that they got because they busted their ass working at these jobs. Okay, now I know a lot of you people out there don't give two shits about government workers, but that's only because you only know a very small slice of the pie of government workers that work in government. Okay, your experience with them is IRS office, DMV, Social Security, and the unemployment line. That's all you know, but that's a drop in the bucket for the federal workers that we need in this country to operate the systems, which Trump and Musk are trying to destroy by underfunding it, because they legally can't close these departments down without an act of Congress, because it was Congress that activated those departments. So all Trump can do is defund it, you know. And so Musk goes around, you know, playing this bullshit image of a chainsaw, and then arrogantly gets in front of the camera more than once and does all these sea Kyles, okay, in front of people, pissing off a whole swath of people in this country, okay? And he doesn't understand why. Because where he comes from, that's okay, I guess, in South Africa, where he grew up. People going around doing that shit, that's fine. Doesn't matter to them. That's because they're all of the same mind. You know, basically, they're all racists. So, yeah, he would grow up thinking, no, it's A-okay to do that. He comes over here and does that, and now he's in a shitstorm, and it's like, what? It's like, welcome to America, my fucked up friend, okay? In this country, you ain't going to get away with stuff like that here, okay? If you don't like it, you're free to go back to Africa, okay? Please. I think a lot of Americans would applaud that if you would just go home. Go back to your country. You're not even a fucking citizen here, for Christ's sake, and everybody knows this, all right? And yet, you're out there given the task of meddling with this country's affairs, and you're not even a fucking citizen of it, so it doesn't even matter to you, okay? How would you like it if somebody from the United States went to your beloved country that you're from and started fucking around with its politics, okay? I guarantee you'd be over there in a fucking New York minute, all right? And you'd be doing everything you could to discredit the person or even try to plot against them. I know that, because that's the kind of person you are. I mean, the people that are racist in that part of the world, I mean, they all think like dictators down there, okay? And so, you know, Trump is like a dictator, and Musk feels like, oh, you know, we can do that over here, you know? He's not very bright. He doesn't understand this country, so I don't know why he feels, well, maybe that's because he feels like he can do it, because he doesn't understand America. He doesn't understand what this country is supposed to stand for. I mean, we lost millions of American lives fighting a dictator in World War II. And Trump don't respect that. And Musk don't respect that. Okay? They don't. And so we got the wrong people as leaders of our country. Well, Musk, I mean, he wasn't even elected. He wasn't even voted, so we can't really call him a leader. He's just been deemed the boss of Doge, I guess, for the lack of a better word. I don't know what. But people are mistakenly thinking Doge is a government entity. It is not. It was created by Musk and Trump, okay? Nobody that works there was elected there, okay? So it's not government affiliated. It's just doing things to basically give Musk a direction on where he should make cuts. But they're not officially tied to the government, which means, you know, these people that are, you know, that losing their jobs and stuff don't really have to leave, okay, if they really thought about it. Because Doge has no, as an entity, has no authority over the government. It really doesn't. Okay? Just because Trump said, you know, follow their instructions, Trump doesn't even have the power to do that. Okay? That was not an entity created by Congress. It's not budgeted in our system. But I can bet they are taking money out of that. You want to talk about waste and fraud? Look at Doge. Who's paying Doge to do what they're doing, okay? It can't all be Elon Musk money or Trump's money. I bet you they're dipping into the fucking budget to pay for that fucking outfit. The fact is, it should not exist. It's an illegal entity, and nobody who loses their job should fucking feel like they've been fired. They should challenge who fired them, who supposedly fired them, in court, and, you know, and say, look, they're not my boss. Elon Musk is not my boss. Okay? If Donald Trump wants to fire workers, let him do the fucking firing. But otherwise, Doge has no fucking say in it. It'd be like Toys R Us telling people, oh, we can't have this many federal workers. Let's recommend they fire all those people. Who the fuck is Toys R Us? You know, who fucking voted the damn people that work there in an election to put them, to seat them in that fucking position? Nobody. That's what Doge is. It's just a big fancy word for Toys R Us. I mean, that's all it is. Okay? And nobody should feel like they lost anything, like they're bosses. Those are not your bosses. And your bosses don't work for Doge. Okay? Congress is the only entity here that can decide that. Your representatives and the president himself, you know, well, if he has recommendations or something like that, okay, that gets tossed into, you know, an oversight or something like that, where they decide on, you know, where the cut should be made. But it's not done in this haphazard, chainsaw-like fashion. This is not the way it's supposed to work. That's why the judge was trying to stop this crap here, okay, or challenge it. And that got everybody else all pissed off about it. You know, like, what's her name there? Bambi there, Bond, whatever the fuck her name is there, okay? That's why they got, you know, her panties in a fucking twist. And everybody else that's been going in front of the cameras crying, oh, this is anti-American. No, what they're doing is anti-American. What these judges are doing is what's constitutional. Okay? But you see, these people have grown up with the idea that the Constitution doesn't apply anymore. They don't apply because, oh, it was written in a time that, you know, doesn't reflect what it is today. Okay? And if we did it today, it would be all different. Yeah, probably, but that's why we can make amendments to it as we go. But these people don't want to go through that process because they know that their ideas are not what the majority of the country like. They've already tested those waters many times, and they've been polled, and they found out that, hey, these ideas Republicans have are not very popular. So they know they can't take this on the floor of the Senate or something to try to make an amendment, because that won't pass. People don't like their ideas because they, you know, ban abortion, ban this, get rid of these people. You know, nobody likes that kind of shit going on in this country. Nobody. You know, we saw stuff like that happening in other countries, and we think, oh my God, I'm glad it's not us. You know, Well, apparently there's some people in this country who wished it was us. Okay? And those people, my friends, are not American. They may go out there and celebrate the 4th of July like everybody else. They might go out there and President's Day or go to the parades on the 4th, on Veterans Day and stuff. They may present themselves as they are pro-American. Okay, but in the back of their heads, they'd rather see this country burn to the fucking ground than stay the way it is. That's what they want. They don't want America. All right? You know, they grew up in this country enjoying what it had, okay, as kids and stuff. They all got happy memories of being kid. And all of a sudden now, oh, America's such a miserable place. You know, it's like, you know what? America's what you make it. It really is. And if you can't stand what's, you know, the things you don't like, then you get up off your ass and you work to have it changed. Lots of people have done that in this country. You know, lots of people who have suffered losses, personal losses, in their families and stuff, have taken their causes to Washington to see laws made, you know, to fix a crack in the system. People have done it. It takes work, yes, but when you got support and you got a bunch of people who agree with your cause, it gets done. All right? And politicians love to stand next to people that are doing something to fix the system. They love that. So if you can get a politician to stand with you to do things to change stuff, hey, you got something going. So why is it these people will rather sit in, you know, at home in their recliners and bitch and complain about, oh, this is broke, that's broke, this is broke. Everything's broken in this country. It's like, okay, well, what idea do you have that could start or to begin to fix it? And if it's a good idea, take it to someone to see if there's anything that can be done with it. Okay? Use your brain. Okay? Just stop with the fucking complaining. All right? Stop with the complaining. It doesn't work. Nobody hears you when you complain, except, other people, and they don't want to hear you talking like that. People are busy with their own lives. They don't want to hear somebody standing out in the middle of the street belly aching. Okay? What's that saying you guys like? Pick yourself up by your bootstraps? Back at you. Okay? Back at you. But Elon Musk, him crying and everything and acting like a little pansy ass, shit. Okay, who cares? I'm sorry if you don't like what people are doing, but these people have every right to protest. This is America. All right? These people have every right to protest. And if you're not listening, they're going to make it louder. If you're still not listening, they're going to make it violent. All right? And I think everyone out there who's ever been in a protest, and this includes MAGA too, any one of you people out there who's ever been in a protest knows exactly what I'm talking about, and you agree with me. I mean, if you say you don't, then you're full of shit, okay? But you fucking know that these people, have every right to protest. It is protected. You may not like what they protest about, but it is protected, okay? And if these people are upset with you because you're going around acting like a Nazi, and you're going around upending families, upending people's lives, even the sick, by cutting workers and cutting funding and all this and that, okay? If you're going around doing shit like that, you're making an enemy of this country. Okay? You got an enemy today. At first, people didn't mind you so much, okay? You were bringing in a green car, I guess is what they would call it, because, it was supposed to run on electricity. People were okay with you that far. But then, you went across the line, okay? That's where you went wrong. You never should have done that. You never should have cozied up to Trump. You never should have come up with an agenda that only Trump could implement for you, okay? You never should have done any of that. That created an enemy in this country. We don't like outsiders coming into this country. We don't even like Fox News because that was created by an outsider. Guy from Australia. Can't think of his fucking old bastard's name, but, okay? He comes here and makes a goddamn news agency that's only doing one thing. Propaganda. Twisting the facts, okay? They try to sell themselves as, we tell the truth and we're honest. From the very beginning, they lied. Okay? And they always got the worst people working on that show. So, you know, we don't like outsiders coming into America and planting their flag here and trying to upend what we have, okay? We fought hard to get it. We're still fighting hard to keep it. All right, and it's just, you know, we don't like this. We got veterans here who have sacrificed their lives, and for some of the veterans, even their children's lives, okay, fighting for this country. And you're coming in here and you're fucking that all up. You're bringing into this country what we fought against in World War II. We didn't ask for that. Okay, and a lot of other countries are shocked that this is even happening here. The country that was supposed to be against communism and dictators and all that crap. And here we got, you know, a ready-made, homebred fucking dictator right here in our own country, sitting in the White House, not once, but twice, okay? And he wants to go for a number 3. You know, I feel like this is dystopian times in any fucking way you want to think of it. And it can only get worse. But if the people fight and resist, okay, we could make a difference. But the people that are out there crying like Musk and all that, saying, oh, it's unfair, not fair, okay, not only do they not understand what it is to be an American, but they don't understand themselves. They think that what they're doing isn't bad. Okay? I don't know what to say to those folks out there, except that, you know, maybe this isn't your country because you're expecting things that we just cannot give. You know, we can't do it. All right, let's go to a commercial break, and we'll return.
I'm Alex Curtis. I'm a lobsterman in Maine, and this is me.
I'm Roxy Sugar, and this is me.
I'm Eric Hopkins. I'm an artist, and this is me.
This is me.
Me.
This is me.
This is me.
At the end of the journey, the main thing is you, original.
Don't look up. Elon Musk's rockets keep blowing up. Pieces falling out of the sky. Airports across Florida shut down. Planes are crashing. Near misses. Dangerous. What are Donald Trump and Elon Musk doing? Slashing the Federal Aviation Administration, the one government agency that protects you in the sky. It's crazy. Elon Musk doesn't care. He doesn't fly like the rest of us. For him, it's private planes, private airports. But there's another reason Elon Musk wants to gut the FAA. It's the agency that regulates his rockets that keep blowing up. The FAA has fined Musk's rocket company hundreds of thousands of dollars. Oh, by the way, you're paying for those exploding rockets. Musk gets billions from taxpayers. He wants to build spaceships to take billionaires to Mars. Yeah, nuts. Elon Musk is out of control.
Feeling my husband with 8 inches was like reliving our first time. Thanks to the salt trick, he makes me gush like a broken pipe. And just last month, I was ready to divorce my husband. But then he showed me his new 8-inch magic wand. Now, I can barely hold it in my hand. This salt trick is hands down the biggest advantage any man can have heading into 2025. I wasn't kidding when I said you should take it easy with this trick. It can turn a sad little twig into a raging anaconda. It's ridiculously simple. And it's heartbreaking to see so many men missing out on the chance to finally make their women happy. So far, this easy homemade trick has helped over 29,000 men naturally increase both size and thickness. This is the same secret top-paid adult film actors use to keep their bats way above average. It's also how they manage to handle 3, 4, or even 5 women in a row without losing their stamina. The best part? It works for men of all ages, takes just 30 seconds before bed, and can give you some incredible results in no time. If you want to skip the details and go straight to the video, just click the Watch Now button below to learn how to pull off this simple but powerful trick tonight. You should probably watch it alone, if you know what I mean. Don't waste any more time. Watch it before it gets taken down or you can't find this video anymore. Your wife or girlfriend will thank you for the rest of her life.
Hello, Daniel Caldwell. This is the VA Crisis Response Hotline. We're calling to inform you that your emergency request for in-person counseling for PTSD has been denied. To stop fraud, waste, and abuse, these services will be replaced by VetCare AI, powered by Grok, an X company. President Trump and Doge Chairman Musk, thank you for your service and being part of our efforts to eliminate waste. Have a nice day. Press 1 to repeat this message. Press 2 to return to main menu. Press 3 to leave a message, and an AI operator will call you back if your problem is deemed unwasteful. Goodbye.
Be a part of the entertainment value of a lifetime.
I loved it.
It was the best performance I've seen in a lifetime.
I loved the show. I liked it very much. He's a very entertaining man. It's well worth the money.
Now appearing in Charlottetown, coming to Halifax November 6th to the 18th, and St. John November 20th through the 26th.
Thing. I don't know where the hell the plug is for that. No, wait, it's right there. Right there, I see it. Yeah, it must have fell off. Yeah, it only takes about less than an hour. Okay, welcome back, everybody. Smokey's toys here. They all got to be recharged every while. I got her a lot of electronic toys that run on their own little robotic mouse and stuff like that just drives around everywhere and, you know, runs into shit. What? No, I didn't do anything. Jeez, freaking kitty. Rat. That's what you're a big fat rat. Okay, well, this next video is kind of sad. I've been following this guy here since the war started between Russia and Ukraine. Okay, and he has a YouTube video a show that's called Inside Russia, and I've been getting a lot of valuable information about Russia from this guy because, you know, he's Russian. However, he lived in the United States for a good many years. In fact, he actually lived in Maine during the 90s. He was working in Old Orchard Beach at a hotel where, you know, he was just scheduling people in, and he did that for a number of years, and he made a lot of friends down there. Eventually, he went back to Russia, I think, in the early 2000s, I think, if I remember. I mean, he's laid a story out in one of his blogs he put on YouTube, but he went back to Russia. He has a child. He's got a wife. And he noticed things were changing there and stuff. And then things were getting bad. And, you know, Putin was making things worse. And then all of a sudden the war started, okay? And then he didn't agree with the war, so he fled with his, at first he fled by himself. But he got his family out later. And he's staying in Kazakhstan, I guess is how you say it, which borders Russia. Yeah. Let me see. Oh, come on. Goddamn thing. I hate these fucking phones. Hold on a second. Okay, let me see if you can see that. Is that fucking light? Come on. It's just, well, you can see the name, Kazakhstan. And then if you go all the way to the top here, there's Russia. So it's a big piece of land. It's a big country. Okay. And it borders Uzbekistan and China on the other side. Okay. But it's pretty big. Well, anyway, that's where he's at now, and he does all his shows from there. Okay, he's got I think what he's got is a hotel or something like that, or an apartment where he's been staying at. Now, his daughter and them are, we're trying to get into the United States because, she wanted to go to school here in the United States. I can't remember what state it was in, but he's trying to hook back up with them, and he wanted to get what do they call it, a relative petition to get into the country, and he was certain he was going to get it, and he didn't. It was denied to him, and all I can think of is if he had done this when Biden was president, he probably would have got it. You know what I'm saying? But because it's fucking Trump in there, I could have told him this is not the time. This is the bad time to be a foreigner and trying to become a citizen in this country right now, because everybody is so paranoid about anybody that's around it. That isn't even of this country. So I'm going to start this video here. And then we will discuss this on the other side. So let's go to the video here.
Howdy, friends. This is Konstantin, the host of Inside Russia. I have some news for you today, but it's not of Russia this time. It's personal. It's about me and my family. The USCIS, American Immigration Service, just denied my daughter Sky a relative petition filed on my behalf. A path to immigrate to the USA for me. And I don't really know what to do now. Let me explain briefly what happened. There are a few ways to get into the USA legally for any person. And they are through a family. The easiest, the most transparent way if you have a relative who is a US citizen, like child or parent or spouse, it's a sure way to immigrate to the USA. A sure way. Then there is immigration through employment, through humanitarian reasons, just asking political asylum. And there is a way to immigrate through winning a green card, lottery, of course. What are the chances of that? And there is another way through a program for extraordinary people. And that's pretty much it. No, that's not it. There is a new way. It's just been introduced. Any rich person can buy a green card these days. The price is $5 million. This way was just introduced in February, and already 1,000 green cards were sold. They're called golden visas or something like that. That's it. There are only ways one gets into the USA legally. And I am lucky. I thought I was. I have 2 children who are the US citizens, Sky and Jake, born in the USA, raised in Maine. Great kids. The best children one could hope for. Sky is 26 and Jake is 19. Only person who is over 21 and US citizen at the same time can apply for her parent, and that process is called the relative petition, also known as Form I-130. Sky qualifies, or I actually qualify through Sky. So she filed a relative petition on my behalf for quite some time ago, years, really. It's a long process, but the upside is it's a sure thing. You just have to meet certain criteria. Basically, you must be parent, and that's it. Well, I am the parent of Sky. She's my oldest daughter. Sky's mom and I divorced when Sky was 10 years old, but I have never stopped my relationship with the kids, not just Sky, but with Jake also. We went places together. They came to visit me in Russia when they were little. We took trips to Czechia, Germany, Austria, Aruba. Just recently, they visited me in Uzbekistan multiple times. We went together to Turkey. They are my children. They are with me for life. I love them. And I'm loving spending time together with them. I'm always up for that. So Sky's filed a relative petition for me, and I was absolutely certain that Sky's I-130 was going to be approved. My attorney didn't have too many worries about it getting approved. He helped Sky to organize everything according to the law and the requirements. And he's a very, very good attorney. We made plans for life based on I-30 getting approved. Not just me, but my family also. And 3 days ago, it came down like a crashing blow. Sky's relative petition for me was denied. The USCIS is basically saying they are not convinced I am Sky's father and we have an ongoing relationship, despite all the evidence, and therefore they deny the application. I have a life full of evidence of my relationship with both Jake and Sky. Child support pay, plane tickets for trips together, hotel stays, receipts, our conversations and calls in Facebook, in Facebook Messenger, 15 years worth of conversations since Sky got her account on Facebook first, photos together, health insurance I bought for all of us when we traveled, vacated together every time. Both Sky and Jake did have live streams with me. They did it right here where I'm sitting in Uzbekistan in my home when they were visiting me from this very place. Both Sky and Jake were in a film filmed here in Uzbekistan when they were visiting me, and it's still uploaded out there on YouTube. I have never collected evidence of my relationship with Sky to prove anything to anyone, but the evidence is just all around me, all around us. I basically just had to reach out with my hand and give it all to Sky and to the immigration service with the help of the attorney. Me and Sky did just that, submitted all the evidence needed. And I-130 was denied. Just like that. The Americans listening to me right now, I have a question for you. Can you please tell me, who do you actually want in the USA? If I don't qualify, if I am not good enough, what kind of people are you looking for? Giants? Superheroes? If not me, who exactly do you want to come to your country? And you do need immigrants. There's no question about that. Your economy is built on and around immigrants. Without immigrants, your economy is not sustainable. So you do get them one way or another. So who would you like to immigrate to your wonderful country and live next to you in your community? I'm sincerely interested to know. I'm very curious to understand. Well, it's another blow for me. I've been served quite a few blows recently. First, it was Oleg getting accepted to one of the top programs in America, college programs, and getting denied a student visa twice. Then I got demonetized by YouTube for a reason that what appears to be now like a request from the Russian government to Google to demonetize and demote my YouTube channel for my stand against Russia and for Ukraine. I cannot say it for certain, but it certainly does appear to be like that. Then half of my face was paralyzed due to stress and mental pressure, Bell's palsy. And finally, now I am denied the relative petition. Or rather, Sky is denied the relative petition on my behalf. Why am I telling it to you? It's obviously very personal information, very personal emotions. I wanted to get it out of my chest because it's heavy and it hurts too. You know what hurts? I have a loving relationship with my child. My story is true. It's all out there, easily tracked and proved. And I know people who got to the USA by fabricating their stories. In other words, lying. And getting away with it. Successfully getting approved by the US authorities. Yet I get denied. It's also very difficult right now because of this particular situation my family is in. We have lost our home. We have lost our country. We have lost the future there. And it's not like we wanted to lose. We liked Russia. We liked living there. We were forced to make a choice. And, I made my choice and my family followed me. Now we are homeless. We're refugees. Don't get me wrong. We didn't leave Russia with the goal to move to the USA. At the time of escaping Russia, I wasn't even thinking moving to the USA. I wasn't thinking of anything. I wanted to get out of Russia. The relative petition happened much later. We would have left anyway. Since we left, we have become homeless. Not just me, but my entire family. And I am responsible for that. I am responsible for fixing that. I'm responsible for finding a new home. And we were counting on the USA. I love the country. I lived there before, and I don't really know any other place I could call home. And now we are up in the air again. Sometimes I feel empowered and ready to move mountains and having enough energy to move mountains. Sometimes I feel crushed, laying on the ground trying to catch my breath. That's pretty much how I'm feeling right now. What's next? Both the attorney and Manus are saying, don't give up, let's fight, we gotta fight, let's appeal. And that's what I should do. But what are the chances? Quite frankly, I'm feeling absolutely empty inside. My plans for life keep on crashing. And they just crashed one more time. And every crash is a big boom, it's major. So much for me working for the US government, as Russian trolls sometimes say. I certainly wouldn't have any troubles getting approved had I worked for the US government. Speaking of Russian trolls and the propaganda, they're joyous now. I'm sure that they're watching and just sneering. Oh well, they have a reason to sneer today. Something to sneer about. It comes down to this. I've got to make you a few promises. I actually have to give myself a few promises. That's, I think, even more important. I don't have any desire to quit what I've been doing. I just need hope. Hope for a safe place. A place where I can spend the rest of my life and be free. Free to say whatever I want. Free to do anything I want. And free of fear. Uzbekistan is a wonderful country. We are treated absolutely well here. We're welcomed here and we appreciate it very much. But I'm being followed here. I keep on noticing them. And I have a pretty good idea who follows me. And it's very, very scary. It's one of the scariest, if not the scariest thing that I've faced in my life. I need hope, just hope for a new home in the future. I need some kind of path that I would take steps and move, Is that too much to ask? I want to make a few promises. First promise. I promise you that had I known 3 years ago what I would have gone through, I wouldn't change a thing. I'd still do the same. I would still get up and leave Russia in 36 hours. Second, I promise to my children and my wife, I'll never give up or stop doing what I do for them because I simply have no right to give up. And the third is, I promise you, the insiders, no matter what, no matter if demonized, paralyzed, homeless, or whatever, for as long as I'm physically able, I will continue documenting and sharing the transformation Russia is going through. And I will show you Russia as a warning to you and your countries. So you don't make your own mistakes, but learn from ours. And I'll be telling you the truth about Russia. I will continue doing that. I will continue fighting, and I will be leading by example, or I will be trying to do so. I promise that to you, and I promise that to myself. And as I said, I think it's even more important that I promise to myself never to be forgotten. And the last but not least, thank you. You are what matters. Your support, your wishes, your prayers, your love. Thank you.
Yeah, so, yeah, he essentially, he is homeless. And, you know, he says that, he feels like people are following him and stuff like that. They probably are. And I'll tell you something else, too. Because Trump and Putin are so close, and the fact that, you know, he feels like he's being followed, I wouldn't be at all surprised, you know, if Putin, you know, is got people watching him, and, you know, maybe had something to do with the fact that they, you know, they denied his, you know, application to get into this country. You know, he's pulling Trump's strings, as it were, right? So I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I wrote to him on the blog and told him, look, this, you know, even if you got this thing, your chances of being deported and ending up in El Salvador, it would make your situation you think is bad right now even worse, because your family would never hear from you again. Okay, not to mention what would happen to them. I mean, they hear you talking with a Russian accent, and ICE is going to be all over your ass. Okay, you see what I'm saying? It wouldn't be like this if it wasn't for Trump. And there's nothing wrong with this guy. Okay, he's already been in this country for many years, so I'm sure it's on record. You know, he's been here before. And he's got friends here. He's been in Texas for a while. He was there for a while. Okay, he's got all kinds of friends from the United States that constantly comment on his videos and stuff. And people are very supportive of him, and they don't want to see him suffer anymore. I mean, he had, you know, where he was paralyzed on one side of his face for a while there. It was because of stress. You know, the stress of not, you know, staying in another country and things that's happening with his family, and he feels like his hands are tied, that he can't do anything. And to do this thing on YouTube, you know, to do these videos is his way of trying to feel like he's trying to do something. It's a psychological thing for him to be able to do that, to feel like he's doing something. And he wants people in the United States to understand from his perspective, from the years that he's spent living in Russia, how it works in that country and why things are happening there the way they are. Okay, so a lot of times when you watch the news and they talk about Russia for, like, you know, a few minutes, you know, maybe just a couple of minutes, you're missing so much, because he knows more about the story than the fucking press here does. And yet nobody really, you know, says, hey, you know what, you ought to hire this guy. Okay, because he knows more about what the situation and the status of Russia than what we're getting from our own fucking press here. You know, and I think, you know, hey, if the United States was really smart, they'd let him into this country. Okay, but you know, like I said, because of the president we have, all right, and the connections he has to Putin, I think, you know, maybe he's got, you know, I'm just suspecting. I'm not saying that the president has any fucking say on anybody who comes and leaves here or whatever. Okay, but it wouldn't surprise me if word got to him from Putin to, you know, not let him into your country. It's okay if we can get terrorists in here, but this guy here who just wants to come here to be with his family and stuff like that, no, we ain't gonna do that. But like I said, he may not want to be here if he got here at this point. I said it's probably good that you're not here, but I would fear for your family being here, because any one of them could just all of a sudden up and disappear and end up in El Salvador. You just don't want that to happen. He's caught in limbo between a rock and a hard place. He's got a home country he can't go back to, because he'd probably end up dead the minute he stepped off the airplane. And he can't go to a country that he wants to be in, because we got an asshole for a president who's trying to keep people out of this country. Okay? So, I feel like, maybe it would be better if he would just apply in another European country somewhere. And just stay there until the shit blows over in the States. I mean, I've been telling that to the Canadians who've been commenting on various video blogs and stuff like that, and telling them, look, I realize you guys are pissed off at this country, and you don't want to come down here for vacationing and stuff. I can understand that. We'd be doing the same thing if this tables were reversed. Okay? But you don't want to come down here and risk being picked up by ICE because some asshole over there said, oh, them people, there's something wrong with those people. That's all it takes, is suspicion now. You know what I'm saying? That's all it takes. I mean, you want to get rid of a neighbor, call the police, call ICE or somebody and say, oh, that neighbor over there, I know he's not from this country. I know he's illegal. Okay? We're at the mindset now where you're going to have people outing other people. So it's not safe in this country right now. It isn't. It isn't safe here. Anyone that wants to come here that doesn't live in the United States, even if you got a visa or whatever the hell you got, papers or whatever, okay, even a passport, doesn't matter. Doesn't have to be acknowledged in any fucking way that you carry that shit. All that matters is they're going to put you in a fucking plane and send over to fucking wherever the hell the woods here in the jungle, okay, wherever. They're going to dump your ass there, and you'll never be heard from again. That's the way Republicans like to do things. And like I said, right now, with them in charge, it's not safe in this country. It's not America. It's not the America you want to go live in right now, okay? You got to let the American people decide when to get off their ass and change it back. Until they do, America should be considered, banned from the world. Nobody's allowed in that country. Okay, really. And I'm not exaggerating. I'm really not exaggerating, because I think in a lot of ways that's what Republicans want. They want this country completely isolated from the rest of the world. All right, why? I don't know. For those of us who are still sane, we never saw a problem with the United States being, allied with various countries or having people come here and visit, okay? But for some reason, that annoyed the shit out of certain people in this country. Because one or two people that came into this country that might have committed crimes, now that everybody's labeled a criminal that comes over here, all right? And generalizations are what makes MAGA breathe. Okay, that's what makes Republicans breathe, because they love to put laws on everything. They like to put laws on your fucking underwear, for Christ's sake. This is what these people are about. They're about oppression. That's not what this country was founded on. Okay, we got oppression when we was living in across the ocean, and we tried to escape that. Instead, we brought it here. Jesus, That was the mistake we made by trying to start a new country, is we brought the problem that was in the other one right over here. The first thing we did when we got here was fucking wipe out the natives, practically. Jesus Christ. We couldn't stand the people that were living here. Never gave it a chance, for Christ's sake, to work out. No. So we were miserable people when we first got here. So what do you think kind of country was going to come of that, right? But, over the years, we figured, we could do better. Was there anything wrong with that idea, that we could try and do better? Of course not. Christ, the idea of wanting humanity to want to do better came right out of our religion that we carted over here from England, okay? You know, do good. Treat each other like human beings. Do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. Okay? All of that laid out was what drove people to want to create the Constitution, Bill of Rights, all that stuff, okay? To guide us to do better. And stop acting like goddamn savages. But over the time, you know, guess what? The savages wanted it back their way. Okay? And that's what we're seeing today. We are seeing the shadow of the mentality of MAGA being implemented in the White House. The mean-spiritedness, the selfishness, the greed, the corruption. Okay, we're seeing all of the worst elements of our society now thriving inside our government. And until we decide that it's thrived enough in this country, it's going to continue. All these problems will continue. And people like, I can't remember his name, that I'm talking about here, inside Russia here. People like this fellow, who is a really decent and intelligent guy, because he worked in engineering or something like that while he was in Russia, but very well-educated man, should be welcomed in this country, okay? Very smart family, okay? And he's very well-liked. He's a nice guy. There should be no issue at all with him coming into this country. But unfortunately, he couldn't have picked the worst time to try to get into America right now. He wanted to be here bad. He never should have left, in my opinion, I guess. But, you know, he had family in Russia, so he's of two worlds, and he's also caught in the middle of them. His story is really important that should be told. And that's part of the reason why I put this one video up here that he made recently. And I think that if you've seen this, watch this video, you should go to his page on YouTube, Inside Russia, and watch some of the other videos. And you tell me, is this guy a problem? Okay, because I think you're going to walk away thinking, this guy's got morals. He's got a core of character that we don't really see much of in this country, okay? He's accepting of all pretty much diversity. He's got no bad attitude about anybody, except maybe Putin, but he tells it straight about what's going on there. And when he doesn't quite know for sure, he'll tell you that, but he'll also update you on things as it comes to him. So he's a very good source of information about what's happening in Russia and how this war with Ukraine has really crippled that country bad for generations to come. That's something you're not going to hear much of on your news here, because I don't know, maybe they want it. It's like a fucking horse race. Let's keep Americans thinking Russia's winning this thing, or at least fighting back hard, when it really isn't. You got people deserting the Russian military by the thousands all the time. People are just walking away. They don't want to fight anymore. I mean, if that wasn't happening, why did he ask North Korea to bring in troops to help him fight? Okay, because he's losing people. When he goes into the prisons and he just conscripts all these fucking prisoners to fight, he's losing this thing. All these attacks, the drone attacks that were getting closer and closer to Moscow, wouldn't be happening if he was winning anything, right? All right, so anyway, that's it for today. So let's stop here and everybody subscribe, comment, and share, and keep your ears open for health-related issues, and help each other out there through these trying times. And realistically, they've just begun, but it's going to continue on for a very long 4 years, okay? Unless we do something about that beforehand, to get some power out of his hands and back into the hands of people who are going to do something positive with it, okay? And until that happens, I don't know where we stand, but we should be careful about things, and be careful about your spending. Money is going to get tight, very tight here in the days to come. And so, You know, just be careful out there. Make sure that what you're buying or what you're spending is really necessary and not just frivolous spending. You're going to have to break that habit. All right, so I'll talk to you all later. Take care. Bye-bye.